Right, so Genesis 1 to 3. There's still two topics left that I want to discuss before moving on to chapter 4. And that is the idea of concept of culture. Okay. I just had a discussion concerning culture and the ins and outs of culture. For example, I'm going to use this example now. Because I want recording it is, he is, I discussed it with him, right? And so the local culture, and it's not just here, but local culture is that you pay respect to the older people. And yes, sure, okay, that's great. I think we all understand that you need to pay respect to people who are older than you. But the only problem with that is then very often in these cultures, like here, like trust me, in Thailand, there's no respect paid towards those who are younger than you. Okay, so people just think, since he's older, I need to pay respect to him. Since he's a higher role in society, I need to pay respect to him. But if he has a lower role in society, if he's younger than me, I can spit on him, right? Because he's younger, or it's a lower role in society. Okay. I remember in Thailand once I had to meet a director of an organization, and I waited an hour for the guy, right? Because I'm lower in the ring, and not that he was busy. It's just, he wanted to show me that he's higher than me, kind of idea. Okay? No respect. My time is important as well. Just as I respect him, he ought to respect me. But the culture is such that it's not necessary. You only respect those above you. Those below you can spit on them. Okay? So that's not right. That's not right. Okay? Jesus said the way you want others to act towards you, you act towards them. Okay? So if, for example, I walk past someone who's younger than me, who has some of the garbage that needs to be thrown away, but I am on my way to the garbage bin, right? And that other younger person than me is busy with actually work I gave him to do. I mean, is it then wrong to just, okay, thank you, yeah, I will take it and throw it away because I'm anyhow going there? Right? No, it's not. Okay? And then for the younger person to think, oh, but he's older now, he can't do that to me. It's actually wrong, because now in that sense, I again show that, okay, you don't need to care for those younger than you. Okay? You do. Okay, I remember as well from life one time I angered someone who was younger than me, and I asked him for forgiveness, and my father was very angry at me. How could I do that? Okay, how could I ask someone younger than me, or I admit to him that I was wrong? Or not? If I was wrong, then I ought to do it. Doesn't matter if he's younger than me or not. Okay? So yeah, what I'm trying to say with this is cultures differ. Okay? And in every culture there's something that's good. I've lived in a couple of countries in my life, I know a few cultures. I've not in one of these cultures seen something that I don't like. I mean, in the sense of that there's absolutely nothing in the culture that I don't like. Right? There were always things I didn't like. But I have not yet been in a culture where there's absolutely nothing I don't like. Okay? So every culture, be it a Russian culture, be it Thai culture, be it Myanmar culture, be it American culture, be it South African culture, from where I am originally, they have some good, right? But they have a lot of bad as well. Some Christians think their culture is the only right culture. I remember again in the 90s, where getting trained to be a missionary, we were sent there in South Africa to villages. And there was divided into smaller teams into different villages. And I remember so for a week we lived in these villages, and afterwards they came and picked us up in a bus, and there was one young American missionary there as well, who was trained to be a missionary. And so when we got to the village, the first thing he did was he had all the kids line up and sing the Star-Spangled Banner to all of us. Okay, that was what he was doing, teaching them the American hymn, right? The national anthem. Okay? Yeah, right. Okay. The other problem in the 90s in Russia, okay, the missionaries, sorry, unluckily, the American missionaries, were so trying to just teach all the Russian kids American culture because we are from America and we are Christians, and so therefore American culture is the right culture. Your Russian culture is worth nothing. Right? 3 years later, the open doors that were there for us non-Americans to teach the gospel was gone. The Russian government closed doors. Why? Because they didn't want Russians to become little Americans. Okay, so again, sorry, but this is just now from experience, right? Before all Americans throw stones and rocks at me, we as South Africans or other people, we make mistakes as well. Okay, we need to understand that our culture is not the perfect culture. Our culture needs to be biblical. Okay. So although our cultures differ, in Adam and Eve, there are still things that unite us. Okay, so there are differences, sure, but there are things that unite us. I've been in a village up in the mountains in the Chin state, right? And the little kids there sitting, the whole village was there while I was teaching them, and these kids was playing marbles in front, like the same way when I was a kid, grew up playing marbles, right? In my mountains, way back in South Africa, different place. It's all doing the same kind of thing. Okay, so the idea of love, the idea of hate, the idea of jealousy, all these things ultimately is part of who we are as humans. So although our cultures differ, right, there are lots of things that unite us. Some people say that since the Bible was written to Jews or Israelis way back then, right, we can't understand anything about it really, or we need to really just be, or they were so totally different from us. No, they were not. Right? Yes, sure, they differed in certain ways, in certain concepts. Okay, but as humans, right, we still love, we still hate. If a person here, if his child dies in a nonsensical war that's going on, right? Here, the parents just cries just as much as the parents in America would cry, or in England would cry, or in Russia, or wherever, right? The same thing. When we laugh the same. When we laugh the same. So certain things, so look outside your culture, start getting away from your culture, see that there's a different way. See how we are all the same. And then, more importantly, look at what God intends. How God intended for Adam and Eve to live. The culture that God intended for them to have. And that kind of culture is the kind of culture we need to have. Right? Not the culture destroyed, our culture, which we might think is the only true culture. Not the culture destroyed by sin, but the culture as God created it. We need to get back to that kind of culture. In other words, respect each other. Tell the truth to each other. Yes be yes, no be no. No more male, female. Right? No more white, no more black. Okay? In our culture, as Christians, we came up with the concept of apartheid, swear word that went into the whole world, and we justified it from the Bible. Okay? So no, we need to get back to the biblical, to what Jesus taught us. So yes, I will still address a number of cultural issues in these videos, because I will draw on those kinds of issues to explain other things in the Bible, right? But remember, when it gets to culture, our culture is not the perfect culture. There's some bad, some good. There are culture that unites us, but the culture as Christians we need to have ought to be the biblical culture, ought to be the way Jesus taught us.